start with Meek Mill. If you want to talk about Meek Mill jumping in the pool, since everybody's been talking about that.
Why?
I just thought it was funny because, like, I don't know. I just feel like people were coming at him. I don't know. Like, I mean, it was funny, but I feel like at the same time, I thought that was like a thing. Like, what he was doing was like, you do that when you jump into shallow water. Like, isn't it a diving technique, or was he just making it up?
I don't know. I don't think you
He
should.
said it's called like cupping.
It probably is. I've seen people do it. I just never thought that there was a name for it. I just feel like it's just funny because, like, it's got to be tough coming from the hood like Meek, and then you come out to the public because you're like famous and all these people know you, and it's like people feel like they have the ability to say things to you, whereas where you're from, people would never say those things to you. So it's just kind of like a funny thing. Like, I would imagine, I'm not obviously from the streets, but I would just imagine that's hilarious coming from, like, your dad was murdered from gun violence, and then you come from that to be where you are, and then you have people on the internet talking about how you swim. It's just funny. Like, I don't mean to be like the downer or anything,
Yeah,
but
I do think it was funny, but
it's just like
I just feel like at least let's give him his credit that he knows how to swim.
yeah,
Because a lot of black people don't know how to swim,
majority of black people don't know how to swim.
and it's kind of bad, especially if you're an adult, because all the money you spend on other things, you could go spend on some swimming lessons. They're not that expensive.
Yeah, they're really not, and it's just a life skill. Like,
Yeah, like
you may never need to know how to swim. Like, you may never.
I mean, you never know
Yeah.
what situation you'll be in.
Your boat might go down,
Yeah, people love to be on these boats when they go on trips, but don't even know how to swim.
which is crazy. I would never feel comfortable being in the water and not knowing how to swim, because
I know.
I know how to swim, and I've been in scenarios where, like, I swim in the ocean and stuff like that, and it's just like, I know how terrifying that is, being a person that knows how to swim. I just can't imagine putting myself in that situation and not knowing a single technique, breathing or anything like that.
Not even know how to tread water, like the basics, just to keep yourself afloat
Yeah, but then
and not drown.
you see like that guy that was he was out in the ocean and survived for days.
Yeah,
just, like,
I mean, that
shredding.
wouldn't be me.
Yeah, it would.
I would probably die in that situation
Nah.
because like I could swim, but I'm not like an expert. Like I'm not like a really great swimmer like that.
But you don't have to be that to like just tread. Like, that's the crazy
Yeah,
part.
but that's a lot of energy.
It is, but when I did swimming lessons, they called it the dead man's float because, I mean, I think the sick part is like not being able to sleep. That part is crazy. But in terms of just floating for hours, it's called the dead man's float for all my people that don't know how to swim. You basically do the regular just paddle, keep yourself afloat, and then you literally let your body go limp in the water, put your face in the water, so you're not moving any muscles, and you allow the water to hold you up. And then that's what allows you to store your energy. And then you come back up once you can't breathe, do it again. And you just keep going in a cycle like that.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
I wouldn't say do that. I mean,
That was a rare situation.
Super
That
rare
guy
situation.
surviving that many days because we're not meant to. I mean, we could survive in that, obviously, 'cause he did. But I just feel like as humans, we're not naturally meant to be in the water that long. But
yeah, it's just funny. I didn't really see any.
I mean, there's just a lot of people clowning him, and it's like obviously it was funny. Like he does a lot of funny stuff. Like he just does a lot of questionable stuff. But I feel like it could have opened the conversation about this. At least he knows how to swim. Like let's give him some type of praise because a lot of people, even when they become famous, still don't learn these life skills. Like I think Cardi B still doesn't know how to drive. She got all these cars and still can't drive. Like I just feel like there's no excuse for stuff like that. It's just kind of stupid to me. Like life skills, you should know. You should know how to drive. You should know how to swim, especially as an adult. Like you never know what situation you're gonna be in.
There's a lot of things you should know how to do.
Like it's embarrassing.
You should know how to change a tire.
Yeah.
You should know when to.
Like you never know what situation you'll be in life, and to not even know how to drive a car, like that's scary. Because there's so many situations where a car could save your life, and you just be able to escape a situation.
Yeah.
Swimming, obviously, you never know. Like all these celebrities love to be on boats and yachts and speedboats and all this other stuff, but you don't know how to swim. Like a floaty helps, obviously, but there's only so much probably a floaty could do sometimes. Like you need to know how to swim.
And the crazy part is, like, I mean, I guess it's hard to tell for me because my gauge might be a little bit weird, but I feel like it doesn't take that much effort to learn how to swim.
It doesn't. I learned how to swim in like, I think it was like 2 weeks. Like my parents put me and my sisters, we went to the Y, And we were like, I lived in Jersey, so I was over the age of 10. So I think I was like 12. Like I learned how to swim like not that long ago. I mean, that's like 15 years ago, 13 years ago, but I was like 12. I was still like a preteen. I wasn't a kid. I didn't learn as a kid, which I should have because my dad knew how to swim. My mom doesn't know how to swim. So, but my dad knows how to swim. I think he probably learned as a kid, but he was in the military, so he probably had to know anyway. Well, I'm not sure.
For survival purposes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he probably had like things. So yeah, my dad swims good, and my grandma knows how to swim. And that was the main reason me and my sisters learned, because we used to go camping with my grandma every summer, and we be in the wilderness and be in the lakes and a whole bunch of stuff, and pools obviously on the campground. So my parents were like, all right, like if I have our kids going to camp every summer swimming, we should want them to know how to swim. And it took us like really quick, like 2 weeks, I think. I forgot how many lessons we took, but it wasn't that many lessons for us to know how to swim.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. Seriously,
Yeah,
like that phrase is like really true about a lot of things. Because even a couple weeks ago, or how long ago was that? It was a couple months ago at this point. But when I was just out in Cali, I haven't ridden a bike in like years because I don't have a bike. Like
yeah,
I just don't have one.
When you get on, you automatically.
It doesn't automatically get back on. Just like with roller skating or ice skating, once you've done it, like it's just kind of natural.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take that long to learn.
And obviously, it's harder. I feel like when you're older, of course, it's slightly harder to learn, but it's never too late. And I feel like people spend so much money on everything else, but can't swim. Like that to me is not cute. Like I'm sorry, you being up in a tropical location, flexing on your tropical trip, and can't even get in the water because you can't swim. I don't know. It's just something. But everybody was raised differently. But my thing is, I just feel like at a certain point in life, you should want to go learn.
Yeah.
And go like get those lessons. At least learn the basics. At least learn how to tread water. So in a situation, you could possibly have a chance of survival.
And aside from all that, it's just fun. Like swimming is mad fun. Swimming in a pool, doing laps. Like I miss having that because I used to go to the Y like in the summer for camp and stuff like that. And I miss being able to just go up and down and do laps. And it's just crazy because not that it's crazy, but there really are no opportunities really for people to go and swim places.
I know, as an adult. I mean, you can still go to public pools, but it's like, ew. Like, obviously the best situation is just to get a house and get your own pool, which eventually that'll be the plan. But, yeah, swimming is fun. Like, going in the ocean is fun. Like, snorkeling. And even though snorkeling, you do use... It's optional, but you use floaties. But just doing, like, things in the water... Like, it's risky, but it's fun at the same time. Like, I used to love going underneath the water and swimming with my cousins and stuff and doing, like, who hold our breath contest and, like, jumping into the deep end off the diving board. Like, that type of stuff is fun. So,
yeah, as long as it's
I suggest everybody go get lessons because it is a necessary life skill. And, yeah.
Yeah. Probably not going to stay too much longer on that topic, but that's just another one of those situations where it's just, like, I forget who was saying, who was talking about it. Maybe it was Tyler, the Creator, or Kanye or somebody, but they were talking about how like it's just crazy that people on the internet just look for somebody to point the finger at and laugh at.
Yeah, I feel like he's becoming that.
Well, he's been that now. Yeah, because
ever since the Drake thing. To be honest, and like, but he does do questionable stuff. Like when he had the fries on his lap, like what was that?
Very questionable things.
I mean, he did, and like people say he's like funny without trying to be funny. So even him jumping in the water, it did look funny. But I do think like you're not gonna dive. Like if people don't know how to swim, so you're not gonna dive like this into water that's shallow. Like the people that know, it's just people who don't know how to swim. They don't know what diving.
They were looking at the Olympics, so
yeah. Like that water that was the American Dream Mall. Like that mall is like around the corner.
It's
like
got to been 4 feet water.
That water's not deep. So
yeah, that's crazy.
What he was doing, it looked funny, but it probably was like I need to do my research, but it probably was like a technique. He says it's called cupping. It's a technique where you don't hit the bottom of the pool.
Yeah,
and hurt yourself
because I'm not familiar with the phrase of cupping, but it does make a lot of sense because for anybody that's a swimmer, you don't jump in head first for obvious reasons. You're gonna hit your head on the ground.
Yeah.
On the bottom of the pool, and if you're jumping into shallow water, you're not supposed to jump like like jump in there like feet first either, because you're gonna still hit the bottom of the thing. You might hurt your foot.
So what he did was like a curved thing, so it looked like it made sense.
Yeah, and obviously you don't want to belly flop. So
yeah, that's what people were saying. People were saying he was belly flopping. I'm like, no, that wasn't a belly flop. Yeah, people just don't know how to swim. So I feel like, you know, it still looked funny, but at the end of the day, some people didn't know what they were talking about, like at all. Like, because even most pools you go to, they'll tell you no diving. I think it has to be like at least 7 feet, and even that is still
that's kind of wild.
It's still pretty wild. Like
only dive in 10.
Yeah. Anytime I've ever or when you jump off the diving board at pools, it's like 10, 15 feet of water. Like you're not diving into 5 to 4 feet. Like you can't do that. It's shorter than you.
Yeah.
So people just don't know what they're talking about. You know, I'm all for internet fun and stuff and trolling it, but it just had to bring in a little bit of education within that subject so people could be educated and to advise people to learn how to swim.
It's funny what becomes trending on the internet.
Yeah. Because I saw that video like back to back on my timeline for like hours.
Yeah, I even sent it to you, but that wasn't because
I didn't even see it when you sent it.
Not because of him jumping in, but it was just because it's just funny.
And it's because of the mall.
Yeah,
right around
the mall is down the street. Not that I care about celebrities and being in close proximity to them, but it's just mostly for me. I think it's kind of cool because like Uzi went, Cardi B went, people went, and it's like
we've been there a couple of times.
But for me, it's like you don't see the paparazzi harassing them. It's like a spot where you wouldn't. You
kind of blend in.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're in a place like that, like I don't even like pay attention to any other people. Like I'm so focused on like what everything else is going on that I kind of just like zone out and like don't even pay attention to everybody.
Yeah, so it's just nice to see celebrities be able to go out and enjoy themselves without people harassing them.
Yeah, and interesting to see people like Meek and Uzi are from Philly. They took the trip up here to go there.
Yeah.
So, and then Cardi's from New York. So it's just interesting to see all the people that come right into our like little state. Dad likes a clown, but we got everything.
Yeah, Uzi be going to Dorney Park.
Yeah, my sister saw him.
It's the vibes.
A few years ago.
Yeah,
but Dorney Park is mid.
Very mid.
And I'm not saying that because I grew up going there like every summer, like multiple times. It's just they got like 4 thrill rides. Like you got Talon, Steel Force. See, I can't even think of the other ones. There's not even that many. That's sad. Yeah, it's mid. I used to love it, but it's kind of boring. So it's funny that Uzi came to Dorney Park instead of Six Flags, because I will go to Six Flags. But I guess Dorney Park's probably close. Might not even be closer, actually. The distance between Philly and Allentown, it's probably like 2 hours, maybe an hour. And from Philly to Jackson has to be like an hour too, because you're going kind of across. So I don't know.
I would be shocked if it was that long, to be honest with you.
I'm going to see. Because I still don't get why he was at Dorney. I mean, I guess I get it because
there's something to do.
He has something to do. And it's low key, so maybe he didn't think anybody would really notice him there. So let's see. From Philly to Dorney Park is an hour and 12 minutes. And from Philly to Six Flags is, if it will load, look, 59 minutes. I knew it. See, I'm good with maps. An hour, 12 minutes. So Six Flags is closer to Philly. But he probably wanted to go to be more low-key because Six Flags is like hectic.
Yeah, especially when crowded. He went.
Yeah.
This was pre-pandemic.
Yeah, like 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what? I think the day that, it's such a random fact, but the day that she saw Uzi was the day that X died. Random fact. I just remember that because she sent me the message, and then she sent me literally a message like 10 minutes later saying that X died. Random fact. So yeah, it was 2018. See, my memory's good.